Sports.com and 105.3. It's Connor Mcgovern. Connor, welcome. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I'm excited to be here.
Oh, good. Hey, listen, okay, we saw a very happy Mark Colombo in the room, the offensive line coach in the draft room for the Cowboys. So first contact with Mark, or was there someone with the team that you had contact with before? Was this something at a pro day, the combine? When did you really have some first contact with the Cowboys?
This was my first contact tonight.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
So how did you feel when you saw that area code on your phone?
I was relieved, and I answered the phone, and I was just so overly excited that just everything went out of my head, kind of, and just still living in a surreal moment right now.
So what did you find out on the phone? Are you a center? Are you a guard? Are you a little bit of everything?
I'll see when I get down there. Basically, I think the versatility aspect is going to help out a lot.
Yeah, Connor, is there, and we've watched you, and every guy who's sitting here talking to you right now has had the opportunity to sit down and watch you on tape and study you, and everybody was very positive. We always felt like that you were of the linemen that were left, one of the best that could be available, and the Cowboys, in fact, I thought the very same thing of you, though. Is there a position, though, that you feel more comfortable? And I know you're going to give me an answer that I can play anywhere you want me to play. But is there some spot that you feel like, okay, hey, if you watch my tape, me playing here, I kind of feel a little bit better about that, or how do you go about that?
I'll see wherever coach wants to put me at. Play. I have no problem playing any of the 5 positions. It's basically a 50-50 shot right down the line. Very comfortable playing both. I like that center, the whole communication aspect, but also I've had a lot of reps at guard, so I'm very comfortable at either one.
Connor, it's interesting. It's draft night. It feels like it was yesterday, but it's been, 5-6 years since the Cowboys drafted Travis Frederick, Zach Martin. Coming up through high school and college, I have to imagine you have some type of impression of the Dallas O-line, and probably even maybe a little surreal getting a call from them. Just what's your knowledge and experience of the guys down there?
I know, since I got into college, always watching the Cowboys O-line just because they're the pinnacle. Like everyone wanted to be like them. Then they got Ezekiel Elliott and basically just running over defenses in the league. And so just watching them and kind of molding my game as an O-line at Penn State, we would watch them, just how well they played as a unit, their chemistry, just everything was perfect.
What's more fun, protecting the passer or run blocking?
I love them both, but I love putting a guy on his back, so I'd say run blocking.
Nice. What do you know? Go ahead.
No, I had a silly question. You go ahead.
Well, what do you know about Texas, Connor?
Texas, I've only been to Texas once in my life. That was for the Army All-American Bowl back when I was senior year of high school. Whoa. Don't really know much about Texas.
What's your favorite movie?
Favorite movie all time?
Yeah.
Step Brothers.
Oh, yes, I already like him.
You're going to fit right in.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Cowboys.
Perfect.
Well, good. Well, listen, Connor, thank you so much for your time this evening, and congratulations to you. All the guys that you're talking to tonight will be at your mini camps, be in the locker around you. You'll learn to hate us, I'm sure, but we'll be happy to come. We'll be happy to come up and shake your hand and introduce ourselves. So again.
Okay, hello friends, Mark Holmes here, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. Let's get open for business, and let's wake up the football gods up there. How's everybody doing tonight? We are post-draft right now, and I want to know how you guys feel. Me, I feel pretty good. At first when, I kept getting in my mind, safety, I thought for sure it was going to be a safety. And, of course, Stephen Jones, Will McClay, Jerry Jones, and most importantly, Chris Richard said, no, we're okay right there. What we want to have is a defensive line that's like the doomsday, like the 1990s. That will put the fear of God in opposing quarterbacks. Me and Vosh had a discussion, and Vosh should be happy, I hope, both ways. I'm going to try and get Vosh back on and see how he feels about it. But, he kept saying he wants to take care of the offensive line because he doesn't like La'el Collins. La'el Collins, has too many issues with his hand work and things like that. Good feet, but problems with his hands. I think part of the problem is changing coaching and changing position. But we'll be that as it may. We'll come back to that. But to get Trysten Hill. You guys who have been following me for any length of time know what I talk about all the time is the beast in the middle. I am a one technique guy, and I'm like, look, we've tried everything else. You know, we keep getting edge rushers. We've had DeMarcus Ware. Now we get DeMarcus Lawrence and things like that. We've had decent cornerbacks and things like that. It's like, give me a man in the middle. I know the numbers aren't, beautiful. You only see 30 or 40 tackles, maybe 5 or 6 sacks and things like that. And that's why years ago I wanted Calais Campbell. And everybody kept saying, you're nuts. Calais Campbell, guy gets 7 or 8 sacks a season. He's getting old. He's tail end of his career. He's too expensive. But you look at what happened to the Arizona Cardinals after he left. You notice that everybody else's numbers went down. What you'll notice is when he went to Jacksonville, that defense became one of the best in the NFL. And oh, by the way, he was second in the NFL in Defensive Player of the Year. But when you get that push in the middle, that guy that is, hard-nosed, that guy that is literally pissing fire, excuse my language, okay? Excuse my language. And let me make an apology because Sandman sent me a text message when I was doing a fireside chat there. I said, some Cowboy fans act like little bitches. And he said, man, you got to be careful because you don't want to offend any of the ladies. Trust me. Miss Jackie, Sarah, Stephanie, believe me, they're not bitches. And they don't bitch, moan, and groan like some of you Cowboy fans out there. And you guys know who you are, that everything that happens with the Dallas Cowboys is the end of the world. It's the dumbest move possible. That player's a bum. He's a bust. Get him out of here. Our owner stinks. Our coaching staff stinks, our players stink, our concession stand stinks, hell, our mascot stinks. You know those fans out there that it's like slep rock. Woe is me. Okay? I'm tired of them. I'm sick and tired of them because this team has been building something. Since 2015, this roster has been evolving and getting younger and younger and younger. We've added some good coaches. Gotten rid of Scott Linehan. Praise the Lord on that one. Jackie, Mark is cussing. You got to block him. Okay. Yeah, Miss Jackie, go ahead and block me. But shout out to Miss Jackie because she is constantly sending me updates and stuff in case I missed it because I'm going a million miles an hour. That doesn't even sound like a fan. Well, I don't know what they are, but we have lots of them here on the channel. I'll put it that way. But bear with me tonight. Took care of my wife when she had that flu bug, and she's getting over it, and she gave it to me. Thank you, Sue. So, forgive me. Now, before we get too far in here, I want to give a shout out to everybody. We said Thursday night we did the live stream and at Lucky's and stuff, and that we were going to be giving away the Dak Prescott autograph shirt and all the other one stuff tomorrow. I'm actually going through and sending out the other stuff tomorrow, so we're going to go ahead and make all the stuff done right then and there. So all the people gave out super chats are entered a drawing for that for tonight. So I'm going to go through these. Alma Williams, L4G Custom Fabrication, Adrian Garza. This is going to be quite a few of them. Junebug's in here a couple of times. Brian, SoCal, all you guys, thank you so much. Frank Whittaker, and I'm going to tell you what Frank Whittaker, True Blue Cowboys fan, we've been doing a lot of work on the set and stuff. Derek Freeman, and I've got to upgrade some more of my equipment. I actually have to get another computer like this one to go over here on this side. JDG Status C. Dickie Normus, them boys 5 rings. I want 6 rings. We're going to make you change your name. OS True, Edwin Bush. I'm Mamo. Obama Not Care. Stuart Morrison. Jason Garrett. Dickie Normus. Gerald Chavez. Damn it, Carol. Calvin Williamson, Damn It Carroll, Alfonso Walton, Joseph Heatherly. I see we got Little Sweet. Got to add him in there. Lil Sweet. Okay. Joseph Heatherly, as E2 has made sure that I've been calling him Hartley because I say he's got a big heart. Dickie Normus. Mike Smith. Good Lord. Stuart Morrison. Sorrow itself. Hey, will the Dallas Cowboys get in the 6th Super Bowl ring? Cheer you up. Edwin Bush. June Bug. Stephanie. Hazel Brooks. June Bug. Edwin Chapos. And I'm a name butcher too. Sunshine Harvey. H. Flores 22. True Blue Fan. Benjamin Forbes. Aaron Stanley. Hotep DeGod. Hope I said that right. QPW 311. Benjamin Forbes. Aaron Stanley. Hotep DeGod. Benjamin Forbes. Dickie Enormous. Hotep DeGod. Aaron Stanley. Benjamin Forbes. Team G, Dallas Cowboys for life. Damon Webster. Lloyd Diggs. We're getting close, guys. True Blue Fan. June Bug. Dickie Enormous. Drunken Dragon. What's a Drunken Dragon? You know what? I guarantee after the battle they went through last night on Game of Thrones, they'd like to be some Drunken Dragons. Mario Vasquez, Benjamin Forbes, June Bug, and June Bug. Everybody, thank you very, very much for all the support on the channel and stuff. Everything you see here, and everybody knows, we're going to do this drawing a little bit later. Everybody who's been following this channel and been here for a few years, we've grown quite a bit, and it's because you guys have been helping me out by liking, commenting, subscribing, and doing super chats. So shout outs to all of you guys. So now that I got that in the books, Jonathan Cook, I like the picks too. I had in my mind that the Cowboys were going to go safety because you could look at that and say, you know, safety was probably the weakest link. I'm not going to. I don't want to throw shade on Antoine Woods, Jeff Heath, or George Iloka. But looking around, we haven't had a ball-hawking safety in a long time. And for me, two things that are really, really important. Sacks and takeaways. If you can sack the quarterback, get the offense in 2nd and long and 3rd and long and things like that, chances are they're not going to make those first downs. If the quarterback is worried about that push up the middle or worried about those ends taking his head off, he's going to be a little bit off on his passes, are going to be a little quicker. Or if you can get a turnover, a takeaway, because you got the defensive guys over there on the bench, you know, talking and everything else, and all of a sudden, defense, they're not ready. I wasn't ready. You're going running out on the field. And when that happens, that's when big plays happen. And on top of it, a takeaway can be as much as a 14-point swing. So that's my philosophy. Everybody's got their own philosophy and things. That's my philosophy. I believe in takeaways, taking the football away whenever we can. And the other thing, there's Law Nation in the house. What's happening, Law? Let me know if you want to call in and be part of the show here. You can help a brother out who has a bit of a sore throat here and can't really speak real good. The problem, if you look at our team, where we have failed in the playoffs, have been it's not necessarily our quarterbacks. We're scoring enough points to win. The problem has been more of not being able to stop the other team from scoring. We're losing in shootouts, or in that late in the game that we just can't get that takeaway, that stop. Vosh is in here too. Oh my goodness, Vosh, let me know if you want, because I actually want to definitely talk to you, Vosh. Vosh, that whole thing that we were talking about before, that we were going to work together and doing shows and stuff. I need to go over that with you, not on the channel, but on the side. I need to talk to you. But I know you've been busy because this is your time. I'm curious to see how you feel about this draft. I know you're happy that we took care of the offensive line. That I believe we got a stud and a steal in this draft. So either hook up with me tonight, or I'd like to hook up with you later on. Let me make sure make sure I don't miss anything here. So I got it set up. So for me, I worry about stopping the Aaron frickin' Rodgers. I worry about stopping the Jared Goffs, on third down. We get that stop, we get the ball back. We're going to win the game. And I believe the Cowboys, for the first time since the 90s, have basically gotten loaded up where you got backups. When you look at 2017, the biggest problem for us was once we lost Tyron Smith, we went to garbage. And then once we went to Sean Lee, we went to nobody. What's up, Law? You there?
Yeah, I'm live like 95. What's good, fam?
Great, man. Hopefully everybody out there can hear you, because I haven't had anybody live streaming, and I had a little issue time ago, but hopefully I got everything going. So we are in the books. We are done with this draft. How you feeling, man?
Man, I love it. I don't like it at all. I love it. We finally invested into the inside on both sides of the ball. I think Voch is happy as well. I'm happy. Everybody should be happy. But I'm hearing a lot of people just saying that they upset about the safety. Remember, I'm building from the inside out.
You know what? But here's what's amazing, though. There's got to be, to me, there's not as many secrets as you think. The Dallas Cowboys will give you hints on everything. Almost every time, one of the 30 people they brought in for interviews have been the players they've drafted. So you can almost narrow it down to the 30, okay, as a player. But Stephen Jones went out and said before the pre-draft press conference that when you are desperate for a player, that player looks a lot better because you're trying to fill the hole than maybe they are on a tape. And if you think about last year's draft, what did we think we needed more than anything else going in that draft?
Man,
wide receiver.
We needed a linebacker so bad. Wide receiver linebacker, yeah.
Well, okay, but you had to say, after letting Dez go, we definitely needed wide receiver. And some people were saying, well, you still got Sean Lee as an all-pro. You really need to focus on it. So people were pissed off we didn't go wide receiver, right? Early.
But the thing is, we needed too many skilled players because all of a sudden we didn't know that my guy, Old Reliable, was going to say, okay, here's my walking paper.
Right.
We didn't know that. We didn't know that at all. And the old Filthy, they said, okay, we're going to scoop in and get Dallas Goedert. Mm-hmm. And then a lot of people were saying that, he wasn't high on our board. But I guarantee you, somewhere, somebody was like, damn.
No, Miss Jackie is not related to me. She's like my sister from another mother. I guess we would say that. But she is like family. In fact, she's better than family, okay? Because sometimes some of your family members, you're kind of like, eh.
Yeah.
But for me, I love Trysten Hill after seeing some of the tape on him.
Right.
308 pounds, 6'3". They could put a couple more pounds on him. He's that trash can full of dirt, but he got wheels, and he's going downhill.
Yeah, he's strong lower base. If you look at his thighs, man, it's just wide enough to anchor in, and he's got a great burst off the line. The burst is everything, and that's what, believe it or not, that's the type of skill that Papa Rob Marinelli likes. He likes the person that's able to shoot the gaps, get off fast off their release. And remember, Antoine Barbecue Woods, his issue before he made it over to Rob Marinelli's camp was his burst and getting off.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that Papa Rod can fix those things and have everything working out for us and just rotation inside,
Well,
So,
the thing about Rod Martinelli is Rod Martinelli takes guys that are nobodies or has-beens or washed-up guys and makes them really, really productive. So you take a guy who's a raw beast like this, who seems to have the right attitude, man, I think he's going to be going. Did you hear Chris Richard today? Excuse me, not Chris Richard. Will McClay today on the Fan about Taco?
I heard bits and pieces of it. Yeah, he got to fight and earn his spot out there on the field. I'm with the belief that sometimes a player just falls into the wrong system. Mm-hmm. I think that he's a left defensive end, and although what Will McClay is saying is accurate, but sometimes it's just kind of like us trying to fit D-Law at the right defensive end.
Yeah, and most people,
it won't happen. It won't happen.
You equate it to writing with your right hand and then writing with your left hand. Some people can do that. You have some players that are, they can play any position on the offensive line and stuff, but everything is reversed from what you are used to. Your eyes are used to focusing in on this way. Now, everything is off the different foot and everything else. But back to Will McClay. Have you noticed something lately about Will McClay?
48 laws of power, man.
Well, what it seems
he deflects.
What it seems like is Jerry Jones seems to be stepping back a little. I mean, Jerry Jones is still they're at the press conference and stuff, but you're seeing other guys that are doing a lot more stuff. You're seeing Stephen Jones talk a lot more, and now you're hearing from Will McClay. We never heard from Will McClay before.
Yeah.
And so, to me, is this the evolution of them finally letting him be the GM? Which I always call him the shadow GM, because he's doing the GM work without the title.
Yeah, behind every masterpiece, there's somebody behind, like the ghostwriter. People saying that Drake don't write his own lyrics. They have a ghostwriter behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. And I think that Will McClay, he was saying that, hey, his main purpose and his main goal in life is to give Jerry one more Super Bowl ring.
Amen.
And I love that goal. Do you guys love that goal?
I don't know. You can't see this, but Joe Boo's got his mini Lombardi trophy up here that he's holding. Okay. Because you know what? If you have a dream, if you do not first believe it, it cannot happen. So I'm believing in this. I believe we got enough talent that we can make a move to go all the way. Now, anything can happen. You can lose players. You can have the ball bounce the wrong way and stuff. But I feel like this is the most talent we've seen on our Dallas Cowboys since the 90s. And I think, can weather an injury here and there. I mean, even getting Mike Webber and Tony Pollard, getting those two guys. Mike Webber is kind of between the tackles type runner and stuff that you can kind of plug in there. And Tony Pollard, your thoughts on him?
Yeah, he's the guy that's going to flip the field for us on kickoff return. That's been a avoided spot for us for a while. I mean, it's been so avoided. The last time we had somebody was Lucky Whitehead. And then we saw little spurts from Jordan Lewis. But, he was trying to press too much. And he just wasn't the guy for us all the way for those particular things. I'm thinking that with Tony, he's bigger. Mm-hmm. He's a little bit more physical. He can catch better out of the backfield than a Lucky Whitehead. Yeah. Or if y'all guys want to call him Rodney, whatever you want to call him, he's a little bit better Cordell Patterson. I don't see the Alvin Kamara comparisons, but I see more of a Cordell in him, with better hands.
My thoughts on him is it's kind of like what they wanted to get from Austin last year, where they wanted to make him like that running back, wide receiver and stuff. But he's more of a wide receiver that converting to a running back. Tony Pollard seems to be more of a running back who is also a wide receiver. And if you guys don't want to know what I mean is running backs take a hell of a lot more pounding and abuse and things like that, whereas that wide receiver isn't really that pounding guy. So Austin just seems a little bit fragile, and I don't know how Tony Pollard will be in the pros when you get those, them beasts out there. But to me, he could be that third down back, kind of like what they wanted from a Lance Dunbar. 2015, like 3 or 4 games, Lance Dunbar was hell coming out of the backfield catching the ball.
Yes, indeed.
And what this, to me, at least says is we're not going to run Zeke Elliott into the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Or if Zeke Elliott wants to buy the farm, we got some people that are kind of there. Maybe we can kind of push in.
Yeah, the best thing is for Ezekiel Elliott is to get him 16 to maybe 17 carries a game. I know a lot of people saying, hold on, Law.
Yeah.
I want 20 to 25. Well, what happened here is you get that. You can get that. But the issue is when you get to 300 carries, land, you don't go back to the next season all well.
When you get to the playoffs.
Yeah, playoffs, you're not that fresh. We didn't see a fresh Ezekiel Elliott against the LA Rams game.
No.
No.
William Meyer, thank you very much for the super chat. I agree with you 100% on that. So, I mean, across the board, it seems like we have positions that we got backups in anywhere. Our offense, and here's the funny thing, we're going to have some guys that are going to be cut. I think they can start on other teams. I think Lawford. Your pitcher. Oh, there you go. Okay. Because, I mean, think about on our offensive line, of course, you got Tyron Smith. You got Cam Fleming. You got Xavier Salafalo. You got Zach Martin. You got Connor Williams. You got Connor McGovern. You got Joe Looney. You got Lyle Collins. That's a lot of guys. You're not going to be able to keep all of them.
That's part of iron sharpen iron, steel sharpen steel philosophy. Whereas you're going to have some good guys to go. And some of them, it's just is how the nature of football. I love it because
I do too. Competition.
I love it.
We're fighting for a job.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where this may be where Voss can get his wish and stuff, because if Connor McGovern is a guy you can plug in now, you could end up taking Connor Williams to tackle with that, extra 10 pounds and looking like the Blue Hulk, and put him at tackle. You could go ahead and say Lyle Collins buy now and save $8.5 million on this year's cap. Or you hold on.
But you know the best thing for us to do
is hold on to him for one more year and get the compensatory pick.
Well, beyond that is to tender. The best thing for right now for us to do is Lyle Collins play lights out. And just like we tried to do, we tried it with David Irvin. We tried to put a second round tender on David, and teams didn't bite to that bait. They're like, nah, Cowboys, you can't get us with him. No. Remember, we put a tender on him, a second round tender on him, and
what a waste of
teams didn't bite to that bait.
Well, I got to tell you, in my mind, Ocho Techno 5, thank you very much for the super chat. I haven't gotten to the undrafted free agents yet. I've got to actually do some studying and all that. I'm still dealing with the drafted guys right now, so we'll get into that, as the week goes on. Of course, we got Larry Allen Jr., a legacy. I forgot to add him to the mix too. He's got to make it. So, I mean, we got a whole – and then when you look at the defense, and like we said, Taco might be the odd man out. I think they put him – Will McClay put him flat out on blast and said, you know what, you basically have to get – do better what you're doing. We understand injuries and things like that, but, if you want to be here, you can be here. If you don't want to be here, well, you're gone.
I know I get a lot of hate mail for this, but I would rather have Taco opposed to Crawford. And I know Crawford been a journeyman for us, but I think that's $6 to $7 million that you can save. Could be $8. I don't know for sure.
I think it's $6 for this year, but that brings me. That was going to be my other point too, is because there's a couple of guys when you start thinking about the wide receivers and everything else that we have, and I know the Cowboys would like to hold on to Allen Hurns, but you got a logjam. You got a lot of bodies in there, and sometimes it comes down to money because you start looking at, like you said, Tyrone Crawford is $6 million. We got. Now that we got Trysten Hill in there, you got Antoine Woods, you've got Collins in there, you've got who else am I missing? I'm missing like two
Hyder. You got
Hyder and all that stuff. So you start thinking about all of these guys that are there. Okay, Tyrone Crawford's $10 million this year. This guy is $2 million. That's $8 million. I can pay Byron Jones with most of that money. And be able to keep that. So you have to be able to work around and get those resources. And I think that's the same thing with Allen Hurns, where we have the logjam right now with wide receivers in there. And I think Lyle Collins is another one. Between those three guys, you're talking about $19 million of cap room.
Yeah. It's something about Allen Hurns that he's special with the locker room.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that also with Allen Hurns, if he wasn't injured, and I'm telling the truth, guys, if he wasn't injured, man, he was coming along the way.
You know, a lot of that too is because you had so many people that were new. We had such flux in the offensive line. People don't understand that. Everybody thinks that a quarterback, no matter who's out there, he's supposed to be having 400-yard games. You know, and you look at Big Ben. Big Ben, look at his wide receiver core versus what we had going into the season. And even after we got Amari Cooper, we still were not one of the top wide receiver cores in the NFL by any stretch of the imagination. And we are a running game, run first team. That being said, you got some stallions now that you can go down the field with that should open up things for Zeke even more with this offensive line.
Yeah, something about chemistry. Last year during this time, we weren't even thinking of Amari Cooper, right?
Oh,
Michael Gallup, he was just now putting on his clothes to down to Dallas.
Just got his number, okay?
Right. Just got to know what number he's going to be, you know.
Allen Hurns had just jumped in. Yeah, Hurns had just come from Jacksonville, you know, and you had Terrence Williams being, Terrence Williams out there wrecking cars and shit like that.
Right. Look, put it like this. And I'm not trying to throw any salt nor shade at this particular guy, but the vocal and the emotional and the off the field and on the field and all through offseason leader was Cole Beasley.
Measly Beasley.
So people supposed to rally behind and follow behind Cole Beasley.
Measly Beasley, Mr. Hot Sauce.
Cole Beasley. Look, ever since Cole Beasley been gone, look, do you hear any other Cowboys players all up on Twitter and all up in their feelings? And this is what we see from the background, you see. So I'm just saying, Cowboy Nation, I'm not trying to throw any salt nor shade towards Cole Beasley, but he's supposed to be our vocal, our off the field, our emotional leader, because Dez Bryant wasn't there anymore, and also your boy number 82 wasn't there anymore. So
yeah, I agree with you on that. And you look at this team. I don't see, and again, it's the Cowboys, so we get more coverage than anybody else. You know, Zeke picks his nose. It's going to be on TMZ. But seeing the players, you know, showing up at the Star and stuff for draft. Draft is one of those things that veteran players don't want to have nothing to do with because that's the young guys coming to take my spot. And more times than not, they stay with it. It's kind of like the Super Bowl. If you haven't been in the Super Bowl, you're not going to watch the Super Bowl in there as far as players and stuff go. But to see those guys show up at the Star, be hanging out with the fans and stuff, see them out fishing, going to games and stuff, these guys are all there in Dallas. You look at, say, Green Bay, and I think I told you this before, Green Bay's got to have incentives. $5.7 million of their cap money is going to workout incentives, so they will come back to work out as a team. We don't have that. Our guys are right there. These guys have been chomping at the bit to get out there working. They're hungry. They like each other and things like that. And to me, that's going to bode well because it's more than I'm just playing for the paycheck.
Yeah, and then I love the fact that every year during the off season they got like this metric, you know, and it's according to your body weight and height. It doesn't matter how big or how small you are, but you're supposed to hit a certain number. And I believe that only 4 or 5 other players get a chance to get the golf carts or what have you. And I like the fact that for the first 3 years that your boy Dak Prescott been winning that golf cart situation, right?
Oh, okay. So I didn't know anything about that one.
Yeah, you didn't know about the incentive. People in the chat box can confirm what I'm talking about. And I like that because all off season before, back in the days, there used to be a certain quarterback that didn't do those things during the offseason, didn't go out there and help elevate their overall health per se.
You said a certain quarterback who didn't go out there and work out?
Right. It was a certain quarterback. I don't want to say his name.
Was it because he was in the hospital?
That didn't do those things, you know.
Was it because he was in the hospital or on the golf course?
Somebody was playing around a quick 18, quick 9,
or getting a body part reattached. Okay, all right.
Right,
And I have
right,
to agree
right.
with you on that one too, because when you hear guys like Randall Cobb, I guess the new thing is come get me, because during the Super Bowl, he was telling the Cowboys, come get me, because he wanted to work with Dak. And he basically said he wanted to go to a team that is a contender.
Wow. Don't make me cry, Mark.
No, that's a Green Bay Packer that kicked our ass. Said that.
Right.
Said, I want to come there. Mainly probably because it's warm too.
Yeah.
It's cold as shit up there. Forgive me, I got this cold, guys. Sorry about. I mean to cough on it. So you're hearing these guys that want to be here. I was once told from a player. He said to me, he said, listen, because at the time he was working on the end of his contract, and they didn't know if the other team was going to sign him or what was going to be. And that's the thing about being a football player. Everybody says, man, I want to be a football player. But there is so much uncertainty, no matter how good you are, about where you're going to be next year. This player went from the Jets to Cleveland, back to the Jets, and then at the end of the year, after having played lights out, they don't want to pay me. And as he put it, he's like, look, I'm an independent contractor. I get a 1099 at the end of the year. I'm playing for the money. I'm going to put, wherever I go, I'm going to give 100% effort. But there's no loyalty to me because, to them, because there's no loyalty from them to me. Mm-hmm. Don't get that feeling with these guys right now. You were talking about the last time we were on, Zeke Elliott getting fed the popcorn by Dak. Mm-hmm. This is a family. This is a family.
Yeah, I love it. Look, when we see these people are out there and they working together, they going out to games together, they going fishing together, and it's just such a special thing. And it's just nobody. There's no, big eyes and little U's. It's just none of those things, man. I just love this team altogether. All right. I like what we're saying.
So I'm going to ask you this. Okay, so now that we've had this offseason, and it's funny because the first week of free agency, people were disgusted. To me, I called some fans. I said, we got some whiny little bitches. Yeah. And that's that. I no offense to the ladies, because the ladies in here, y'all are not whiny bitches. Y'all man up more than some of these other people. Okay. So
true that.
First week of free agency, we weren't making big splash moves and things like that. Okay. We ended up going through methodically, letting the dust clear. We have done a hell of a lot with very little as far as money. We still have that $19 million. We still got a lot of people to pay, and we're going to get some more money by cuts and stuff. This draft, I think we filled in a lot of holes. How do you feel about what we've accomplished this offseason? Do you think we could have done anything better than what we've done right now?
Yeah, this is my whole view on everything. There's always room for improvement. There's no one perfect but the Lord, right?
Right.
So, but I'm always looking at it from this perspective. Fans, they have a right to be emotional. They have a right to have their feelings on their shoulders, but they don't have a right to carry this thing on for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. You see, so we get mad. That's naturally with the inside of us. You want to get mad at sometimes. You might want to just release that frustration out. And that's why we're here, believe it or not. Because they can't go to, look, we are so interactive, Mark. You can't go to the Cowboys.com when they do their show, and you say, hey, Derek Eaton, you suck, or Derek Eaton, you said a good job, and they get a positive response or a negative response. But we can do these shows every day. We talking about the Cowboys, and they can vent their frustration out on us.
And they vent them on me all the time.
right. Whether you're a homer, whether you're too optimistic, or whether you're saying that this person sucked too much, or Coach Red can't just win it for us and stuff like that. I understand all that, but my thing is, when you're talking about bitching and moaning, those are the fans that gets on my nerve, because look, they refuse to say, hey, I'm wrong. Like you and I both, we said, hey, we're wrong on LVE.
Right.
We wrong.
Fella Harris wants to know, he thinks if we have a chance to win 13 games. Of course you have a chance to. Now, it's going to be a tough schedule, and it's a hard thing to do. I'm not going to go put myself out there and say we're going to win 13. I think 11-5 is a reasonable number to put out there. Philly 500, the dingbat, he thinks the Eagles are going 13-3.
Well, More power to him.
That's a homer guess to me. Okay. Because we get some of those fans out there like, oh man, we're gonna go, 16-0. Like, oh, okay, here we go. Fans trash dog. Okay, I see that, Vosh.
Vosh,
What's up, Cowboys legends? Kathy Green, how you doing? Joseph, how are you doing tonight? Redskins highlights. Oh man.
Shout out to Red. They came out of the grave.
Man, I tell you what, they are pounding the chest today, man. They talking smack on the airways up here right now, man. They think that they got their shit together. Yeah.
No. Let me talk a little trash about the Redskins.
Because here we go.
They didn't keep that same energy, Mark. You remember for the first 3 weeks of the season, they was all around. Yeah, Bama boys. Yeah, we winning the Super Bowl. Yeah. We got Adrian Peterson. We kicking y'all butt. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, they was like at the end of the season, they became a nun.
Eric Barnes, I think you actually have maybe hit the nail on the head about George Iloka, because Chris Richard, you can see Chris Richard is getting a lot of input on this defense. In fact, here's the thing that I love when we talk about the Redskins. The Redskins coach didn't find out that they signed Collins until he heard it from the media.
Oh, wow.
Let me say it again. The head coach didn't know that they were signing Landon Collins until he heard the media ask him, what do you think about that signing? What? Who?
Wow.
When they had the press conference last Wednesday, what Stephen Jones said, he said, look, we are changing the type of players that we're drafting because Will McClay has so much input with the coaching staff to see what they want. And that's where we're seeing taller defensive backs. And George Iloka, being that 6'4" guy, is a lot bigger than what we typically have had at safeties. And I think that Chris Richard, everybody keeps saying, oh, well, he was a late round pick. And I get sick and tired of the whiny bitches, excuse my language, that always talk about, well, they're a late round draft pick. It doesn't mean crap where you're picked. It's just the fact that it's your pick and you go to the right system. Cam Chancellor was the 5th round pick. So don't give me that crap. But I think that Chris Richard sees something in that guy, because Chris Richard was supposedly the one that said, get Trysten Hill instead of getting Ron Thornton.
Yeah,
so he may know a whole lot more than we think, sitting here on the sidelines.
Yeah, in this particular system, the free safety is the main guy that is going to be overseeing sideline to sideline. Now, when you have pressure into the inside, when you have your other cornerback or defensive back playing up close on the line or safety inside the box or in between the splits, then you really don't have to rely too much on those particular parameters as far as his skill set. What Chris Richard is saying is that I can coach up Donovan. I can coach up the if they want to move Michael Jackson into the inside, they can move him into the inside. You see, so you got
Thriller
side, you got the measurable. So the Thriller. So we're gonna come up with a nickname for Mike MJ.
Boy.
Michael
He's gonna
Jackson.
be moonwalking on their ass and shit. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. And then even Joe Jackson doesn't look too. I tell you what, Joe Jackson and Jalen Jelks. Again, you got. This is the thing from Taco. You got Jalen Jelks. You got basically 4 guys there. Only 2 of them are gonna make the roster, and Taco's in that mix too.
Yeah, Taco's in the mix. See, this is the thing. When I looked at film on Joe, I didn't see him play left. I saw him play on the right side.
Yeah,
and I saw 0 bend from him, but I did see straight get off on the line, burst. I saw techniques with his hands, and he just stronger than his opposition. So I don't know. I think Voch might have did film session on him. I might have to go check and see. But from what I saw, from a limited film that I saw from Joe, I mean, he's going to be a guy that's going to be able to beat you from bursts off the LOS, straight strength. Didn't see a lot of bend, but I saw some techniques with his hands. So I still think that we got a dog, but don't forget, Cowboy Nation, we only signed Robert Quinn for a 1-year rental, you say. So,
and we want him to play lights out, because if he does and he signs someplace else, compensatory pick. That's what the New England Patriots have been doing forever. Yeah. They get 3-4 picks extra every single year. And if you got 3 or 4 extra picks, you're going to be good, especially when you got teams like Miami, Buffalo, and the Jets in your division.
It was beneficial for them to do that. And the Rams, too, it was beneficial for them to have those extra compensatory third-round picks. Because that's how they was able to get some of those players that we were like, whoa, we wanted that guy.
Right, yeah, exactly. And they're moving around left and right and things like that. But I'm excited. I can't wait to see these guys actually. I think it's the end of this week that they should be in getting fitted for the helmets and everything else. And they should start. I got to look and see when the rookie OTAs are.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're going to figure it out. Hopefully, everybody can just show up and show out and be ready.
I know I'm gonna be ready. That's why we drafted 2 defensive ends. I'm having a little. My Wi-Fi is kind of going in and out a little bit, so I apologize that I've got to hardwire a couple things in here. So I'll get that straight by next week and things. It's like there's a lot of bandwidth between the 3 computers that are going on right now, so bear with me. We'll keep upgrading and keep working on the system. Who do you think is going to be the best player that we got out of there? You think it's going to be Mcgovern, or you think it's going to be Hill? And who do you think might actually be a starter?
This is the thing. Just from the coachings along that's on this roster, like Rob Marinelli, I'm thinking that on T. Hill, he's going to be right, and the other guy, the Moonwalker, Michael Jackson. I'm looking at his size. I'm looking.
They might move him to safety.
At his dog nasty mentality.
Yeah.
If they play him inside, that would be cool. But instead of safety, I would rather for him to play actually Anthony Brown's position. And see what Anthony Brown, see how that competition can work out. But remember, this scheme is all about knowledge of this particular system. So I don't really know whether or not he's going to outperform Anthony Brown.
Right.
But I've seen stranger things happen. So we'll see.
But he could actually be moved to safety too.
Yeah, he could be moved to safety, but I don't know. I'm not ready to just throw in the give up towel on Jeff Heath and George Iloka and Kayvon Frazier. I'm not ready to throw that towel in on those guys.
I like that smooth criminal for Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Why can't we put Collins back at guard? That's been my thing all along. But now I would have loved to put him back in there. But Vosh, of course, thinks that. There's something that we don't know about him playing guard, but to me, he was a better guard. I think part of the problem with Lyle Collins is the change of coaching so many times and being moved from position to position. It's kind of like the Cowboys to me. Too many times they've taken a guy who is one thing and they try and make him something else. And you just don't have enough time to change. In today's NFL, you don't have enough practice time to go ahead and really teach a lot of new technique. And a lot of people don't understand the difference between a guard and a tackle. It's 2 totally different things. A tackle is more of a defensive position because you're constantly out there taking care of that edge rusher, so you're dealing with that speed and things like that. The guard is the guy who's usually dealing with having to get outside, pulling, as well as getting to the second level, getting to the linebackers. So it's totally different footwork, handwork, and everything else move-wise. And not everybody can transition from one to the other. Now, maybe with them being a tackle another year in a row and having Marco Colombo working with him, and Marco Colombo is high on Connor Mcgovern. He's happy as can be about getting him. That maybe you're going to see him, man up a little bit more too, a little bit better this season. But even as bad as he's played at times, he's still better than most out on the field.
You do carpentry work, and you can only plaster and put mud on a sheetrock for so much,
Yeah.
And it never have that regained strength in that particular spot of the wall. And from your eyes, you can say, okay, it looks good, right? And the consumer, they would never know that it's weak right there in their wall, right? So, but you know it, Mark. You know for sure that, like, hey, that spot on the wall is weak. But that's how I'm looking at Lyle. He's been moved too many times, and he's weak if you move him back inside because the techniques and the training and the way you want to move your feet and kick your hips. So my thing is he kind of shot himself in the foot, wanting that extra money, wanting that extra saying. And I don't know if he was saying to himself, hey, team out more by playing onto the outside at right tackle opposed to playing it inside.
Yeah.
But to me personally, it could be a lost call if he do not just say to himself and open up their reality check and say, hey, I'm naturally built for to be a guard. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. Okay. No, we haven't actually done the drawing yet. We will actually I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and do this drawing right now. What we did was everybody who did Super Chats during the draft, we have our draft special. We've got our Dak Prescott. This one I got his rookie year signed. This is Joe Boo's Black Sheep, and he in fact has a shirt that's like this that he's actually worn. So, let me not drop that. Okay, that's what we're giving away. Let me set it over here. Okay, don't fall and break anything. Okay, so for all the people who donated, I appreciate it. And what we're going to do is we're going to add you guys all to the other drawings from the past here, and we'll do other giveaways because my wife said I got too much shit on the walls, and I have to agree with her because I got stuff I don't even have places to put it. So, dropped one out. Okay. Let's pull, there we go. We got Benjamin Forbes. Benjamin Forbes, email me at cowboysmark94@gmail.com. cowboysmark94@gmail.com. Benjamin Ford, that is yours. Stello 300, I'm still waiting on you to get back in touch with me because you actually won the jewelry for the ladies, man. That's over here as well. Richard Normus, I got your banner that's over here. That's going to be going in the mail tomorrow. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but the Power of 4 Dak Prescott shirt, that's going to be going in the mail tomorrow too. So I got some work to do. So anyway, so now we took care of that. Thank you, everybody. On it. So give me any other thoughts, concerns, or things you want to talk about with our Dallas Cowboys. What worries you?
We gotta wait. It's just gonna take its time, man. Once everybody get out to training camp, and Mark, the free agent period is not over with.
Oh no, this is round 2 coming up because in the next 2 weeks or so, teams are gonna be looking at guys and saying, we didn't know we were gonna get this guy. We can let that high-priced veteran go. Just like you saw Miami, of course, trading for Josh Rosen. Once they ended up getting Murray, it's like, okay, we don't need him, so we can go ahead and get rid of that guy. So there's going to be some quality people out there, some of them maybe a little bit older, but guys that have tread on there. And that's where New England has always been really good at getting those guys to kind of fit a role. What I hope to see is with this team that we actually see a Kellen Moore who's a little more dynamic than, with the offense, okay? There's so many different things that we can do with this offense between the running game. You now have a guy with Tony Pollard who you can actually use out of the backfield, maybe on third downs, to give us a different look, a different set. Hope he starts using a little more motion because we didn't use a lot of motion and a lot of different sets. You've got wide receivers that can go, play any position in there. They can play inside, play outside. They can go deep. Open up this field. Get a little, I want to still, work the clock and stuff, but, get downfield a few times over there to kind of stretch out that defense and get them worried about that deep pass. Make it easier for Zeke Elliott. Get these other guys in here. You've got so many players on here. Use as many of them as possible.
Coach used to say, hey, work on your bread and butter plays right now. So the bread and butter plays, they're going to try to insert and install those plays, Mark. And I think that should be Kellen Moore's first operations mission. And think about this. Once training camp hit, the Lion season is over with. Everybody lies right now. It's still the Lion season, meaning that, we're not interested in this guy or we had high hopes for this particular player. So when training camp comes about, and it's more tangible when you can see those players that are not really saying who they thought they were. Then you be able to see, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Jason Garrett, I don't
player.
hate you, man. I've never hated you, Jason Garrett. Just doesn't mean that I want you as my coach. I see my Cowboys family. What's up? How you doing tonight? Mark Allen, Stephanie Betts, William Taylor, H. Flores 22, Derek Young, Roger S. Man, Damian Crow, Stephanie. Yes, Michael Anthony Fitness is back. Dan Blast. You heard 80% of our guys don't trust you, or don't like you or trust you. I'd say 80% don't like you, and I'd say 20% don't trust you. How about that one, Jason Garrett? Yeah, if you were Kellen Moore, what would be your bread and butter?
Installing Ezekiel Elliott plays, and then also trying to figure out how I can get the ball to number 19.
Man, what's up, Mike Mosh? How you doing? Zeke, yes, I got to get yours in there too. Okay, that's another one that's going out tomorrow. Thank you, Zeke, for reminding me. Damn, these Cowboy fans, man, they don't understand I'm old and forgetful.
Oh yeah, well,
Let me get that.
just one day at a time.
There, I got you, my man. Okay, I hate you too, Jason Garrett. King cut motion. Oh my God, I would love to see some motion and motion and changes of sets definitely. I actually look for 12-man, 12 formation, double tight ends, getting Jason
Double tight end and one running back,
and throwing out of that formation, because when you see that formation, the defense has got to put 8 men in the box. Because
or you can open that thing up with 20 personnel with Zeke and Pollard in the backfield, or motion and have 4 wides, or you can do so much out there
if they decide to do it, and that's where Scott Linehan didn't do much. It was basically, we're just going to run down their throats, and you can't always do that. Yeah,
you can't.
You want to see Dak run more.
It's the old philosophy, yeah.
And that's kind of, you want to see Dak run more. Dak was never a guy who ran a lot in college, except when he had to, and unfortunately not like Mississippi State is now, where they're becoming a football factory. He had to run for his life, but Dak is going to look for the players. And I believe that, a lot of those sacks that Vosh always talks about that happen, you won't see as many of them with Jason Witten out there, because that'll be that security blanket to go to. And as Blake Jarwin also starts developing more and more too, he can hopefully start taking over some of that role. I'm actually curious to see how well Blake Jarwin, if he takes off from where he was at the Giant game and keeps on being really, really productive, because the first half of the season, really the first 3 quarters of the season, we really did not get much out of the tight end.
We didn't. But it's still it was a learning curve, man.
Oh, the whole thing. Everybody was doing that offense.
And Rico and Schultz and Jarwin. It was a cluster. If you know what it comes out, the cluster, right? It's a cluster.
I think somebody was talking about Trey Boston. I don't think the Cowboys will sign. They've had more than enough opportunities to sign. I don't even think they've brought him in for a look. So there's something about Trey Boston that they just don't like.
Yeah, well, the line season is almost over with. So when you go out there for the training camp and you see those boys running out there, and if they're not picking up the defense like they're supposed to, the veterans gonna get them calls. And then I hate to say this, but for like all other 30 teams out there, there's a thing called the injury bug too. So that's why veteran players are sitting back.
Yeah, and that's
saying, okay, you guys gonna have to reach out to me eventually.
Yeah, well, and that's the great thing too about us having actually so much depth and stuff. You may look at one of these young guys in camp and say, they're doing pretty good, and you get a phone call, and you can trade one of those high-priced veterans and get something else on top of it. So, yeah. Think we could bring in Sue? No. At this point, after getting Trysten Hill, no, you don't bring in Sue now. We got too many bodies. Right. I mean, you don't see them looking at that, regardless of him posting pictures wearing a Cowboy jersey.
When it's time for those guys to get out there during training camp, and you're really looking at it like, well, the market is already settled now on you, so now you can't ask for $14 million. You've been on the market too long. So we can give you this incentive-based contract, $6 or $7 million with incentives to get you back up to 14. But that's when you can really put the foot to the throat of the agent. Remember, the agent is trying to get 14 for us, right? And he's not worth that. I promise you. At 34 years old, he's not worth 14 million.
He's not a full-time starter anymore.
Right. Rotational guy at 34.
The season will be our best since 2016, fans. Worry about the Eagles. Okay. Wentz still hasn't played a playoff game. Wentz has missed 13 games out of the last 2 years, so and is not healthy yet to get on the field. So they exercised his 5th-year option and stuff. I bet you they wait until the end of the year before they think about a long-term contract to see if he's going to be able to stay healthy.
Yeah, I mean, they really gonna have to look at this Wentz situation, and I'm thinking whatever Wentz getting paid, I think that the Cowboys are gonna really look into. Okay, Wentz get this, then we're gonna give Dak that. Yes.
I think Dak's contract will be done before Wentz's. I think, Dak's they got to do, I think, before the beginning of the year. I think Carson Wentz, they wait till after the end of the season and see what he does before they go with him. But who knows? There's more urgency for us than it is for with Dak than it is with Wentz, I think. So I'm going to give you the final thoughts here. And I think did I lose my internet connection?
It's wonderful.
Okay, we're back. Okay. Lost my internet connection there for a secing. Okay. All right, I'm going to give you the
like
final
I'm in the
word.
Matrix. I see my face like I'm blurred.
Yeah. I'm going to have to work on it. They came out and worked on my internet connection, and it had some issues and stuff. But I'm going to give you the final word here before we get out of here.
Oh, well, it was a pleasure, man, for having me on your platform. I think that the Dallas Cowboys did a wonderful job in this draft. I feel like we pretty much solved everything that we needed. I do know that a lot of people talk about the safeties, but just give it time, Cowboy Nation. And my name is Law Nation for those who new to me, LAW Nation. That's how you can find me on several and various other platforms.
Man,
appreciate you for bringing me on.
Law is everywhere. If you don't know who Law is, man, you got to come out from underneath that rock and stuff because he is nothing but the best. So with that being said, I'm having some little issues with my Wi-Fi in my stream here. I apologize on that. But we are going to go ahead and get our behinds out of here. And we will, of course, like they always say, I will do a video anywhere and everywhere. So, of course, I'll be doing a video anywhere and everywhere with the news on the Dallas Cowboys. Thank everybody for all the support. Everybody who did a super chat during the draft and stuff. You guys are all into the big thing, and we're going to be doing weekly drawings and stuff so I can get some of this stuff on up out of here. And as always, friends, keep spreading the mojo. I will see you guys soon. And one last thing, I did not get set up. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here. It's time to turn out the lights.
The lights, the party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing again.